We're at the Ashenheim Stadium in Jamaica, Jamaica College, and getting ready for the continuation of match week 19 in the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. Dunbeholden against 7-time champions Portmore United, and this is a battle for two teams who are on the verge of playoff spots. 7th up against 8th in the Jamaica Premier League here, and looking to get a win, both of them this afternoon, to put themselves in a playoff position for the Jamaica Premier League 2022-2023 season. Portmore have more Premier League titles than Dunbeholden have had seasons in the Premier League, but at the moment there is no question that the Dunbeholden team is a force to be reckoned with. Let's hear from the two coaches pre-match. Craig Richards, assistant coach of Dunbeholden, then Philip Williams in charge of Portmore.
Coach, a disappointing win for you last week. Results have been a bit up and down for you, but you're sitting 7th position. How important is a win here today in terms of really putting pressure on the playoff spots?
Today's game will be very, very important to us, and as a result of that, we know what we need to do in order to get ourselves in the position of top 6, and that's our aim today. So we're going out there confident to get the victory today.
Obviously, a match before you would have scored, as you said, 4 goals, and then last week just 1 goal and conceding 3. What do you think is causing that fluctuation in terms of performances?
Well, there are some defensive errors that we have been making throughout the season, and we just need to get that discipline in. This week was not bad for training, and we have tweaked the system somewhat so that we can cater to getting positive results. So we're looking forward to a very good result today.
And talk to me about a derby match as well against Portmore. 0-0 draw the first time you met. How much are the boys looking forward to this, and how difficult a matchup will it be?
Well, we know it's a derby, but most importantly, what we're going out there to do is to get the victory. So irrespective of who we play, based on where we sit now, we have to take that the game very, very serious. So today will be a very, very important game to us, and we're looking forward for the victory.
And what do you think is the key to those 3 points?
Well, it's very important that we maintain discipline throughout the game, throughout the 90 minutes of the game, and we play. Throughout the season, we have been playing in patches, we have been playing good football, and there are times when we make some errors and it costs us the game. So today we must be focused, and we're planning on being very focused today.
Philip, a win and a draw in your last 2 fixtures, but then a break after that. Would you say that the break came at the wrong time for yourself and your team, breaking momentum?
Not necessarily. There are some things that we wanted to work on, and I think the break that gave us enough time to work on those stuff.
When you mention things to be working on, be a little bit more specific, because you got 3 points to match at the end and then a draw before that, so it seemed like things were heading in the right direction.
Yeah, but if you look at our goal scoring tally, I don't think it's where it's supposed to be, so we did a good amount of work with some plays in the final third and putting the ball in the back of the net.
One positive for those in those 2 matches, 2 clean sheets, so defensively things coming together for Portmore.
Yeah, definitely, we have been strong defensively all season. If you look at our results, our downfall is in front of goal, and that's where we need to work on the most.
When you look at the fact that Dunbeholden would have conceded 3 goals in the last match, is that eye-opening to you in terms of your attack force and the new change with Alex Marshall, Lamar Walker and so on up front? Does that add something more to you for you to say you have the ability to break down a Dunbeholden defence?
Definitely, they have been conceding goals, and that is something that we look at. But they have also been scoring, so we have to still stay solid defensively. I mean, apart from that, it's a derby, and form goes through the window when you think about derby, and we are here to play today. I mean, the 3 points is definitely what we want.
Philip Williams there, the coach of the Portmore team, who have failed to beat the Dunbeholden team in the last 3 meetings. They've had 0-0 in the first round of this year's competition. Last year, Dunbeholden 1-0 over Portmore and a 3-2 over Portmore. Portmore had won the previous season 2-0 and by 4 goals to 1. Portmore overall having the better head-to-head record. 5 Portmore wins, 4 Dunbeholden wins, and 1 drawn result. But credit to this Dunbeholden team, who are relative to Portmore pretty new to the Premier League. There's Rudolph Austin, who misses the game today because of cards, and he's on the bench helping his coach Philip Williams to get Portmore a result this afternoon. They're 8th in the table. Dunbeholden are 7th in the table. 3 points between them at the moment. Portmore badly need a win this afternoon to get into the playoffs, and they are up for the battle. The body language of the Portmore team this afternoon looking serious and focused, but Dunbeholden is, as Portmore well knows, having not beaten them in a season and a half now, that it's not an easy team to defeat. Andre Farquharson will be the referee in charge for today's fixture, and the temperatures significantly cooler now than we had in the 3 o'clock game between Harbourview and Tivoli Gardens, which ended in a 2-2 draw. Getting ready for match time. Portmore, 7-time champions of the Premier League. Their first 2 titles in 1993 and 2003, they were under the name of Hazard. But then as Portmore United were champions again 05, 08, 2012, 2018 and 2019. The last time Portmore were champions of the Premier League was actually the first season that Dunbeholden had been elevated to the top flight. Only the 5th season of Premier League football for Dunbeholden, but they have risen to be a strong force here in the Premier League, beating finalists last year in a gripping penalty shootout against Harbourview. National anthem coming up. Yes, heading to game time now between Portmore and Dunbeholden, and this is a match that is of critical importance to both teams. Dunbeholden in 7th spot at the moment on 25 points, 3 ahead of Portmore, who are on 22 points in 8th position, and both teams badly need a win here to improve their hopes of making the playoffs. Dunbeholden playing in blue, and Portmore playing in a predominantly white outfit today. Andre Farquharson is the man with the whistle this afternoon. OJ Duhaney and Kimar Daly, his assistants, and Carvel Banton is the 4th official. Siegel Knight for Portmore and Fabian McCarthy for Dunbeholden, the opposing captains. Under slightly cloudy skies here at the Ashenheim Stadium, the home field of Jamaica College. So an important fixture here, and all 22 players would have been schooled by their coaches about the importance of this fixture. Dunbeholden making 2 changes from last week's starting roster that lost 3-1 to Cavalier. Ricardo Thomas and Brian Burkett in for Okemo Jones and Chevoy Watkins. Stephen Barnett, 7 goals so far this season in the number 17 shirt, their leading scorer. Portmore would have made a whopping 5 changes to their starting roster that drew 0 with Chapelton in their last game. Gawain Austin, Tim Shaw, Akeem Mullings and the St. Lucians, Alvinus Mars and Lester Joseph in for Rodolphe Austin, who's out on cards, Saquon Satchel, Lamar Walker, Jaheim Fraser and Tevin Scott. Walker, Chris Taylor, surprisingly, on the bench today for Portmore. Well, he's not even listed on the bench, Lamar Walker is.
He is actually on the bench though.
Yeah.
Yeah, was a part of the national setup last weekend and in the week. Didn't attend training in the latter part of the week, so Philip Williams didn't think he was fit to start. So finds his place on the bench. That's a bit unfortunate, I think, for the Portmore attack that was certainly coming together with the likes of him in it.
Yeah, Well, here's the kickoff, and Portmore in control inside their own half. They'll most likely have a patient, studied start here. Seagull Knight goes wide over to the left side to his number 6, Rousseau, who is Portmore's leading scorer from the left fullback position. Knight, Myers. Big, strong challenge there from Devontae Hodges. Just squeezes the ball away. Myers with a long loop clearance upfield. Rousseau's pass is a bit short. Whistle from referee Farquharson. I think Odin Samuels was fouled there. Samuels, former Harbourview and Arnett Gardens player. Charlie Smith standout in his playing days at school.
2015.
Yeah.
When they got to the final. Playing in that 3-man back line of Jerome Waite.
Dunbeholden on the attack, but Portmore's defense is firm. Hyatt, long clearance upfield. Foul. Rousseau penalised, free kick awarded to Dunbeholden. There's Emilio Rousseau. Foul, free kick to Dunbeholden. Fairly high inside their own half. Quiet start to this fixture, but both teams recognize the importance of this one. Header out by Austin. Strong strike on goal, left-footed. Not a bad effort that was from Brown. His first touch set the shot up. And a long looping left-footed strike on goal. That was high, but his intentions clear early. Myers, one of 2 St. Lucians in this Portmore starting roster. McCarthy forced to scramble the ball away, so very direct challenge there from the Portmore team early. There's McCarthy with the captain's armband. Former Montego Bay United player, also had some time with UWI. Marshall wins a corner, has he? Yes. First corner of the match.
Yeah.
There's Emilio Rousseau, former St. George's College star.
Again, a corner not beating the first defender.
Yeah.
They'd love to improve that. That's a foul.
Yeah. No call. The advantage. No. Now the play is called back because the player lost the advantage.
Andre Farquharson trying to play the advantage initially. Good overlapping run was at Mullins on the left-hand side. Actually, it was Rowan Brown.
Yeah, very strong, aggressive run from his own half of the field it was. And
was constantly being tugged.
Yeah, Portmore man spotting the danger there and going in chase of him.
With pace here. Yeah, well done. Yeah, that was a certain foul there.
Yeah, that's Akila Howard. Yeah, he recognized that Brown was gathering too much pace. So an early opportunity here for Dunbeholden.
Quite a few youngsters used by both teams today.
Yeah, Williams has to make sure his wall is set up properly.
National wingback Ricardo Thomas. liking this.
Yeah. High though. Just McCarthy trotting over the ball and leaving Thomas to strike. Thomas returning to the roster today. He had national duties against Trinidad and Tobago in friendlies last week. Interesting.
So Myers, who's back in the lineup as well. Himself and Lester Joseph.
Yeah, McCarthy with some busy defensive work early here. I guess that's an indication that Portmore's offensive thrust is in evidence in the opening minutes here. McCoy Christian not on the Dunbeholden roster at all today. Had been coming off the bench for a couple of recent outings. We did hear that he had the flu or was unwell at some point. Not sure what the latest is with him though.
There has been a bad flu going around generally that has affected a lot of players. Shaquan Satwell, another player who is out with that virus that's going around. So that was a big miss for Portmore as well.
Thomas under some pressure. Oh, gives the ball away. The cross dangerous. Marshall leaps high, takes the ball down with the left boot, but can't keep control of it. Not sure if he could have tried there to deflect the ball toward goal, because it would definitely be hard for him to take it with that pace and the height it was coming at.
Just wonder if he was too far to do that though, based on the height of it.
Yeah. Marshall, his first season back in Premier League football here in Jamaica since 2019, when he left for the Canadian Premier League, playing for HFX Wanderers. Coached by the Trinidad and Tobago former national coach Stephen Hart. Yeah, there's Alex Marshall. Was outstanding for Cavalier during his Premier League stay here prior to 2019, 3 or 4 seasons after graduating from Manning Cup football for St. George's College, where he was more than a standout. Interesting that another St. George's College name, Brian Burkett, is on the starting roster today for this Dunbeholden team. There he is.
Yeah, big moment for him as well.
Yeah. Brian Burkett played his first Manning Cup game as a 14-year-old, captain St. George's College as a 16-year-old, and also had short stints with Barcelona and Manchester United successive years at 12 and 13 when scouts here visited the Caribbean and were impressed with him at his age group. O'Dane Samuels wants the players to go forward for this kick. Good kick. Myers gets the header. And Williams spills it, but the whistle has gone. McCarthy pretty deep here for the Dunbeholden team today. Strike left-footed to the near post. Wow, a meter or so. Yeah, got away from his man there, drove the ball left-footed. Yeah, but Damien Hart getting low. Good corner. Wow. Missed by Hogg, was it?
Yeah, that was a good opportunity there. Nice delivery into the area. Somewhat what we've been asking for. There's Jermaine Thomas. One of those coaches that cross-section both schoolboy football and the Premier League.
Thomas wide for Dunbeholden. Played most of his Premier League career at Waterhouse before transferring to Dunbeholden, Ricardo Thomas. Would have suffered the disappointment of losing Premier League finals for Waterhouse. And there's a coaching staff for Portmore United, led by Philip Williams, the head coach, who took over from Lenny Hyde the middle of last season.
Yeah.
Or toward the back end of last season.
Started the season at Tivoli Gardens, Philip Williams, and then moved on. Another one who coaches in both leagues has St Andrew Technical under his tutelage, and he's done great things since 2017, where they've gotten to the semi-final at least.
That's right.
Still yet able to lift the actual schoolboy Manning Cup title. Of course, Jermaine Thomas is actually at McGrath High.
Attempted strike on goal, a bit of a deflection there, corner one. 11 minutes in.
Quite a few changes to this Dunbeholden team when you look at it as well. Shavoy Watkin also not there. I think that's a big miss for them, because boy, isn't he a top centre back, especially at this level.
Yeah. There's Burkett.
Nice
looping,
ball.
yeah, looping corner. Howard trying to get the ball away, but not so successful.
Because it was left-footed, it was always bending outside of the box, so it was difficult for Samuels in terms of what he was trying to do.
Thomas, Burkett.
Yeah.
Great ball by Burkett. But the header out from Myers.
Very good with the left foot, Burkett. 16 goals he scored in the schoolboy season, Brian Burkett.
Yeah.
9 assists. So all-rounded player.
19 Manning Cup goals overall, and he's had 16 in the last season alone.
Yeah.
If you start playing Manning Cup football at 14 years old, it means that you've got talent, especially if you're playing for a school like St George's College, who is usually pretty strong.
Can play quite a few positions as well. Can play as a second striker, can play out wide as a wide player, can play at the number 10 role, attacking midfield as well. So
yeah.
Versatile, good passer as well as a good finisher.
Opening minutes of the game, Dunbeholden looking a little bit more composed and displaying more pattern in their game than Portmore early, but there's a lot of time left in this game.
Oh wow, that was a simple pass. That's a bad miss for Dunbeholden. That should have just gone into Barnett, who is, as we had mentioned some weeks ago, Barnett very much a purple patch kind of forward. When he scores in clumps, and then he goes through these long droughts. So right now he's in form, Stephen Barnett.
Yeah, that's the kind of player he is.
Yeah. And that pass should have found him. Scored in a 3-1 loss against Cavaliers, scored 1 in the 4-1 win the week before. So he's certainly been finding the
a rhythm scorer, as you just mentioned. So he scores in flurries when he starts hitting the net. Saw him display those traits at Tivoli Gardens when he was there. Now at Dunbeholden. He had no goals between early December and mid-February, but now 4 goals in 4 games, including a brace against Falkland.
Right.
So that's the kind of player he is. So let's see if he hits the target today.
Yeah. 1 in the 4-1 win against Tivoli and 1 in the 3-1 loss against Cavalier.
Yeah. Young.
Already better than last season, where he scored 5 in the entire season, Barnett. Although he didn't start the season initially because of injury.
Yeah. There was a transaction that could have taken him to the Antigua and Barbuda Premier League for the team grenades in the Antigua and Barbuda Premier League, but although he was initially on the books there, the transaction didn't actually materialize, and he has remained in Jamaica for Jamaica Premier League football. The Antigua and Barbuda Premier League also on at this time of the year.
Well, that's good for Dunbeholden, because since I should say since the exodus of the partnership with Peter McGregor and Atafurai Bygrave, goal scoring has been hard to come by.
Yeah.
And McGregor has lost form and his place in the starting lineup. And Bygrave has moved on to Mount Pleasant. So
Hyatt is down with an injury in goal for Dunbeholden.
there's McGregor, a player who comes from McGrath as well, which is head coach. Jermaine Thomas had said that McGregor does go back a lot and interact with the youngsters from McGrath and passes on his experience, which is excellent to see. Did play in that year, was it 2018, 2019, when McGrath went all the way to the semi-finals.
Yeah, 8 goals in 16 appearances last year. None from 11 so far this season.
Yeah,
this 22-year-old did have a stint in Sweden back in 2021, but his coach spoke glowingly about him at the pre-match press conference earlier on, well, this week, I think it was Thursday. Marshall with a cross towards the middle, but it's overhit. And he spoke confidently about him rebounding and finding form, Jermaine Thomas suggested at the press conference. So I expect him to come off the bench today, and let's see what he offers to the Dunbeholden fans.
well, he has been coming off the bench consistently. And he looks busy when he comes on, but he just has not been able to score.
Yeah, but
And that's
Coach Thomas is saying his training this week has given them confidence that he will find his scoring boots again.
well, yeah, let's see. You do remember the moment that changed it all for him.
Emilio Rousseau is upset about something.
Rousseau complaining with the first assistant. Actually,
Yeah.
oh, I
He
see,
was hit in the
Rohan Brown with the elbow.
Yeah, he was hit in the face clearly,
Yeah.
and he was upset that there was no call.
And the assistant is telling him to just relax and get on with the game. And he's saying this is not a moment to relax.
Yes.
You know, something has to be said about that.
Yeah, that
And he
was.
probably has a point, but if the officials haven't seen, well, there's not much they can do. No VAR replay.
Yeah, Marshall just guilty of a foul there. Dunbeholden with a free kick taken quickly. McCarthy playing really, he's almost as if he's playing central defence.
Which he has played.
Yeah, but that's not his rostered position today, is it?
No. And not for Dunbeholden generally, but that's where it all started for McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's in James High.
Siegel Knight, quality player. Myers.
Knight also, of course, taking over the captain's armband this season. Has suffered with injury, though. A recurring, is it groin injury, I think he has, Knight.
Yeah, those groin injuries can be stubborn and persistent.
Still no whistle.
Austin for Portmore. Marshall. Dunbeholden enjoying 54% possession at the moment.
It's a bit scrappy in the middle of the park, though.
Yeah. Rousseau tumbles over from the challenge and wins himself a free kick. Rousseau, no stranger to prolific scoring from the left full-back position.
And this is an interesting position for him.
Yeah, probably have an opportunity here. In 2018, in the Manning Cup season for SDGC, he scored 10 goals, 8 of them from the left-back position, 2 from playing midfield. And he is currently the leading scorer for this Portmore team.
With 5.
With 5 as a left full-back.
And he's looked a lot better this season on the attacking side of things.
Yeah.
His kicks have been good, and he scored a couple from outside the area, so look out.
Well, he's at the moment very angry with the match officials. So let's see.
He might give them some writing to do.
Let's see if that injects some power into this strike.
Does he go around the wall?
Oh, he goes to the other side. I think he was just trying to be cheeky there, because I think everyone expected the far post effort, which was gaping.
Took a deflection clearly, so he's won a corner, but the free kick was disappointing.
Yeah. I guess he needs to settle mentally, because he was a little upset 10 minutes ago. And sometimes players allow match officials' rulings to unsettle them. He'd have to guard against that now. Let's see if this delivery is better for Emilio Rosso.
Too shallow.
Yeah.
Not able to beat the first defender. We've seen that so much this afternoon.
Especially from that end. Especially from that end when Harbourview were taking their corners there.
Yeah. More ear needed.
A lot better here.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Whistle. Oh, maybe some shoving in the box here, spotted by referee Farquharson, but Damien Hatt was called into action there nonetheless. Midway the first half, and you use the term scrappy just now, Chris, which I think is an accurate description of what we've seen so far. Neither team looking fluent, although Dunbeholden have had more ball possession and have looked the more dangerous of the two teams. Burkett.
Yeah, well, this looking a little bit more organized display. Let's see if it continues. The body in the midfield getting a touch of things. Oh.
McCarthy. Thomas. Powell. Mullings, who is a Harbourview transfer in the January window. Oh, good climb there by Austin to get the header out.
Again,
yeah,
a lot of mix-up inside the area. Nobody
Marshall
controlling things.
goes wide here to Howard. Knight is in support. Myers. Young bobbles of the ball just a little bit, but recovers. Oh, Marshall gets a clean ball. Goes for goal, Marshall, from distance, but his effort was high. Alex Marshall, in his last full Premier League season, scored in the 2019 third place playoff for Cavalier to beat Mount Pleasant 1-0 at the National Stadium. Scored 11 goals that season. It was pretty close to the Golden Boot award, just 1 or 2 goals away in that scoring race. That was pretty tight. Colorado Murray, I think, edging it over Javon East and the late Tremaine Stewart. 13, 12, 12, and then Alex Marshall with 11 goals. So that was a pretty tight run there for the Golden Boot, with Murray acing it. We saw him in the Harbourview game earlier on. Didn't get any goals though.
No. 3 this season though. That was what, 2018-19 when he was at Tivoli.
Marshall didn't have many goals in the Canadian Premier League. I think he had single-digit goals, Alex Marshall, so his campaign in the Canadian Premier League would be rated as disappointing. He's found himself back in the local Premier League here.
And he's got 1 goal so far.
Yeah, a good one it was too.
Yeah. They need more from him though, for sure.
Good cross inside, threatening. Yeah, and being turned behind here for a corner.
Odean
Samuels, yeah. The kind of deliveries that cause own goals sometimes, but Samuels was efficient with how he turned the ball away from his goal, but away from danger as well. So his corner misses everyone, and there's a whistle from referee Farquharson as well. So pretty tame first 25 minutes of this game.
As it was the first time they met on the 21st of December, a 0-0 draw it was.
Yeah.
And things didn't really take off.
With 14 goals coming into match week 19. Portmore, the second weakest offense in the Premier League. Top 10 teams. Only Mobe with 12 had fewer goals. But they're still in playoff contention because defensively they're relatively okay, conceding just 11 goals. Only Mount Pleasant and Humberland have been better defensively of the current top 10 teams in the league.
Yeah.
So
and they've kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games as well.
Yeah, so they're doing some things right, Portmore, but offensively they need to be better. Searching cross inside here, just a little too much on it though.
Although it must be said, in majority of those games, Rudolph Austin has been in the starting lineup in and around that defensive area. So his leadership and experience, even though he doesn't have the captain's armband, but based on how he's organized things, and he's really worked at his fitness as well, and his, you know, his body. The fact that he's not there today because of cards, I just wonder how that will take a toll. I mean, they haven't suffered anything yet, but you just wonder if they are put under pressure, how well they'll stand up without him.
Yeah, the few times they were put under pressure or tested earlier on, Austin and company and Young looked fairly efficient at the back.
Variety.
Yeah, Gawain Austin,
right.
Yeah. That's Rodolph's nephew. Yeah, so maybe some Austin has rubbed off there, so he's keeping the job done. Siegel Knight gets a yellow card. Is it Siegel Knight or is it Austin?
And I'm not sure, but I think it's Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely Knight.
Yeah, it's Siegel Knight. Portmore have drawn 10 of their 17 matches. That's a 58.8% drawn statistic there. Not normal. There was Arnett Garnes in 2017, 2018, 18 of their 33 matches drawn. That was 54%, but header on goal, just a little over the top. Williams, I think, may have climbed high enough for that one.
Only lost 3 games in the entire season have Portmore, and only Mount Pleasant have lost fewer, as we see that attempt just going over. But yeah, so it shows how hard they are to break down, and yet they sit in 8th position.
Yeah. Malachi Douglas there with a header. Big, strong player, only still a teenager, but...
Yeah, Clarendon College captain, and actually was the MVP of the season as well, Douglas, and was the MVP for the All-Man in All Da Costa.
Well, there's another Da Costa Cup MVP in the building, but he's on the bench. Lamar Walker, 2018.
Yeah.
Also Clarendon College.
Yeah. In fact, 2 players in the starting lineup. Devontae Hodges, who just comes out of frame, the centre-back for Dunbeholden. There's Lamar Walker, who was with the national team last week and so on, and wasn't able to train at the back end of this week. Philip Williams wasn't happy about that, so he's been relegated to the bench, to say, demoted to the bench, whichever one.
I think he'll play a super sub role, though.
Yeah.
And you know, he's from Dunbeholden originally. He's from the community of Dunbeholden, Lamar Walker.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he is. He grew up, I think his mom is from Dunbeholden, and he spent a lot of his childhood years in Dunbeholden, Lamar Walker. I'm pretty certain he would have loved to be playing there now, playing against them here now.
Yeah.
But I believe he's going to get some playing time in the second half. Marshall.
Especially if goals are needed.
Yeah, Knight.
Or not coming.
Rousseau. First touch from Mullings, not as good as it needed to be.
Neither was a second.
Knight. Too much on that for Howard.
It's almost like Howard didn't expect it, though. Another young player who is in the starting lineup. As we said, Shaquan Sattrell would normally have one of these wide areas because, yeah, he's a regular starter, but he's out sick.
Yeah, McCarthy, picture of composure and class.
he's allowed Odean Samuels, who is listed as a centre-back, to push a bit more in the wide area. So McCarthy has done more of the centre-back duties. Now look at that. Easier Sunday morning.
Yeah, he makes football look really easy, McCarthy. Yeah. Portmore really in a rebuilding phase as well, Chris, because we know the history of this Portmore team. I mentioned at the top of the show that they have more Premier League titles than Dunbeholden has seasons in the Premier League. But they, at the moment, long ball across here. Mullings with a header out.
I thought Barnett would have just let it run there for Burkitt. I think the defence would have been totally fooled.
Samuels goes in chase here of Marshall. Marshall up to this point protecting the ball well. Doesn't have a lot of support though.
I had to have him in the right place because he's on his left side, which is a strong side, and it's wide of the goal. So
yeah. Wow, was that a nutmeg? It appeared so. And he wins a foul.
Good skill.
Yeah, but I thought one of his teammates should have come
to help him.
Created a triangle.
Everybody was just watching to see what he would do.
Yeah,
it was a salad. And not really much in that. Kind of tried to pull back his leg was Rowan Brown.
Yeah, but you have to call that.
Yeah, I agree.
Russo with the deliver from the left side. Can Portmore go ahead here? They have a 3-point deficit to make up on 7th place Dunbeholden. They're 8th at the moment. Again, the cross from the left side doesn't beat the near post. Whistle, free kick to Dunbeholden just outside their own 18-yard area. Yeah, a bit of a down period here for this Portmore team. They were regular season champions 3 of the 4 years between 2016 and 2019. League champions twice during that period. Title winners 4 times actually in the past decade between 2010 and 2020. But have struggled since COVID, missing playoffs consecutive seasons. 8th last year and 10th. Well, 8th in the 2021 season and 10th in the 2022 season. So Portmore having a lot of rebuilding to do.
And sitting 8th now.
And 8th at the moment. So they're outside of a playoff spot at the moment. And as I said, outside of being the most successful team in the history of the Premier League, in the not too distant past, they were so dominant.
Right. Lots of squad changes though.
Yeah.
Lots of coaching changes as well.
They've always been a team that transitioned young quality players into overseas leagues and so on. So they've always lost quality players to transfers. But they've had so much youth in their setup in the past 2 seasons. I remember when Lenny Hyde was coach during the 2021 season, I remember them playing a game with about 4 or 5 teenagers on the starting roster.
Yeah.
And although that is becoming common now, at the time, only Cavalier would be the team that would be putting that sort of age group on the roster on a consistent basis.
Ricardo Bibi Gardner had taken over there for a while as well. A season it was.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, it was Gardner who was coaching at the time,
Yeah,
it was Gardner, Oh, Mullings with an attempted cross inside. An appeal there from the Portmore players in proximity, thinking it was a handball. Yeah, a bit hasty there. Dunbeholden on the transition play and wasting it.
Barnett wanted the pass to go over the top for him to run into the space, and Knight getting a warning because he's on a yellow.
Yeah, he has to be careful here. He's already on a yellow card.
Both coaches having issues and voicing him to the 4th official, Carvel Banton, the 4th official. Neither Philip Williams or Kevin Deere are pleased.
Well, if both teams are upset at the officiating, it means that even if it's not the best, it's balanced. Thomas. Whistle, foul.
Yeah, that was a tough pass there.
Yeah.
Again, neither team have settled down really again. Frantic and very wayward.
Marshall tumbles over on the challenge there. Doesn't get any sympathy from the referee, who was just about 5 meters away. And was in a good position to assess what happened. Less than 10 minutes to the halftime break.
Yeah. I haven't really seen Thomas get down the flanks either to whip in any crosses. It just hasn't been that type of game. They haven't been able to put together any passes. It's a real derby match. No space.
Too much.
No space. It almost seems that it's more than 22 players on the park.
Yeah, too much emotion here.
Yeah. It almost seems as if it's crowded when it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Foul on Howard. Free kick to Portmore midway their own half on the right side. Dunbeholden's defence has been a bit leaky as well, conceding 22 goals in their 18 matches. Of the current top 10 teams in the league, only Malines 30 have conceded more goals than they have. So this should encourage Portmore. But so far they haven't threatened the Dunbeholden goal much.
And I questioned Philip Williams about that as well in the interview, if that the fact that Dunbeholden had even conceded 3 last game, if that this kind of, but again he mentioned that there have been so many changes for him as well.
Yeah. Mullings. Good cross. Marshall! Just wide.
I just wonder if he jumped a little early. Look at the jump. So he caught him almost on his way down, which is why he couldn't really get any power and then couldn't control it. Look here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not.
You saw
just
his intention though.
Yeah.
He was aiming for that corner.
Yeah, maybe not.
Hyatt appeared to be getting
Good
there as well.
build-up.
Yeah, Hyatt appeared to. So probably Portmore's best moment of the match so far after 37 minutes. Whistle. Free kick to Portmore.
Wow.
Yeah, Barnett isn't in agreement with a call.
That's a Knight certainly in the thick of things one way or another.
See what happened
Here's
here.
Barnett. Oh, yeah, sticks out the hand. I think he saw Knight coming in and wasn't about to take a strong challenge.
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
Wow.
Not sure what has happened there. Is it his knees out? Wow.
Probably some part of the thigh, probably hamstring.
That's Devontae Hodges. Clarendon College centre back, was a part of the Alda Costa team as well. Schoolboy. When he, did he just land badly?
Hamstring.
Yeah, hamstring.
Yeah, Devontae Hodges looks to be a hamstring.
He
the
calls for the
18-year-old.
yeah.
Son of ex-Premier League star Devon Hodges, one of the most prolific scorers in Premier League history. Devon Hodges, 13 seasons he played and recorded over 100 goals, playing for Rivoli and Tivoli initially, then had stints with Humberland, Waterhouse.
Twice won the Golden Boot.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant and Malines. Now his son is in discomfort and appears to be ending his game today.
How ironic. His son at the opposite end of the pitch. A defender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Devon Hodges, he was really fluid up front. I mean, yeah, as you said, over 100 goals, and they came in maybe 150 matches. So the rate of scoring was excellent.
Yeah, he was prolific.
I think maybe only Jermaine Anderson, if memory serves me correct, might have scored more goals in the Premier League than Hodges. Tuffy Anderson, that is.
Yeah,
who I think scored close to maybe 130. But I can't think of another player who would probably have rivaled.
Yeah, confirmation that he'll be off. Ron Nelson scored scored scores of goals as well.
Yeah, but remember, Rowan Nelson spent a lot of time away in Trinidad.
Yeah, he had played in Trinidad
Public,
as well. Yeah. Joe Public.
Joe Public, yeah. He was there
Jack
for
Warner's team.
Yeah. Quite a few seasons he spent in Trinidad.
Yes,
so
did.
when he was here, he did win the scoring title, I think, on 2 occasions, but they were far and few between for Rowan Nelson. I don't think Rowan Nelson accumulated the kind of goals because Hodges was here right throughout, and so was...
I think Hodges is listed at 104, so if Tuffy Anderson has 130...
I think it's about that, yeah. I don't think anyone else has scored more than those two, but yeah, Hodges was quite prolific. The first season that Mount Pleasant played in the Premier League, he was there as well.
He was.
And I think he scored one of their first goals, if not the first, and same at Malines when they came up in 2019 it was, yeah.
He played with them as well.
Yeah, and scored their first goal.
Yeah.
at this level.
Yeah, good transition play here for Dunbeholden. The play slows up just a little bit now, though. Douglas under pressure, can't get by the Portmore defence line. Stephen Young puts pressure on. There's Young, pretty solid central defender.
And the change is made.
Yeah, so Devontae Hodges formally exits the game.
Chevron James brought on for him.
Yeah, there he is, Chevron James. Thomas. Howard gets in the way so the cross doesn't come in. Three minutes to the halftime break and no goals yet.
I have a feeling Fabian McCarthy will just slot into that centre-back role now.
Yeah. Seagull Knight missed the header.
Because James certainly won't be playing centre-back.
Yeah, so James gets into it quickly here, Chevron James. He has the throw from the right side, fairly deep inside the Portmore half. Long throw, Williams comes for it bravely, and luckily for him, he doesn't miss.
Was out with injury for some time, Benjamin Williams.
Yeah.
Now back in and making his place certain.
Burkett intercepts really well here for Dunbeholden. And he has it on the left side now. Long floated ball across here, looking for Brown, who's under pressure here from Rousseau, who wins that battle. Mullings is chasing bravely. Oh, wins a corner. Yeah, James immediately brought into action here. A throw at one end of the field and back defending within seconds. Well, there's Hat, former Premier League winner with Arnett Gardens. Just narrowly missed the title last year on penalties against Harbourview in the final.
Ooh. Welcome, James.
Yeah. Took that one to the face like a boxer.
That was an awkward header from Ricardo Thomas.
The header on goal on the far post from Young, I think it was.
Let me tell you, Young wins a lot of headers in the attacking area, but he struggles to get them on target, Lance. He wins so many, they always look for him. He wins them, but can never seem to find the target, and there's another example.
Yeah.
Gets good pace on his headers as well, but they're always wide or high.
I think Mullings got an arm in the face there from James as he went for the ball, and he wins a free kick. We're almost on the half time with nothing thrilling yet in this St. Catherine derby. Knight. Austin. Whistle. Yeah. Some infringement there before, so it's a free kick to Dunbeholden inside their own box.
Was it offside? I think so, because the assistant went up with a flag.
Rousseau does well. Myers back to goalkeeper Williams. Dunbeholden has a bit of a reputation of scoring drama. They've been involved in 2 of the 6 highest scoring games this season, with their January 4-2 win over Arnott and 4-2 as well over Falkland in February. So 0-0 position with Portmore at the moment, not representative of a lot of Dunbeholden's outings. And we have to remember that semi-final playoff last year at Sabina Park, 4-3 over Cavalier, rated as one of the best Premier League matches in recent memory. Header on goal, but straight to Williams.
Cavalier actually won that fixture 4-3, by the way.
Yeah. But Dunbeholden had won the first leg.
Yeah.
Marshall, he's delivered just a little bit too much weight on it. And the Mullings it is doesn't get there in time.
That means, Lance, we're going to have a blockbuster of a second half then.
We will?
Well, if you're saying that they usually rival in terms of goals, 6 goals, 7 goals, and we have none in the first 45.
Delightful
we'll be
ball.
constantly calling a goal in the second half.
Okay, delightful change ball here from Marshall. Rousseau, Mullings. Myers, but the referee's whistle intervenes as half-time. And a pretty tame first half here between Portmore and Dunbeholden in the St. Catherine derby. And Portmore actually looking for their first win over Dunbeholden in 4 meetings. And no sign at the moment of any goals, as we see some Portmore benchmen beginning to warm up at half-time. Philip Williams there, the coach of the Portmore team. Took over in the middle of last season. And 0-0 at half-time, Dunbeholden and Portmore United. No goals in this Premier League fixture.
Welcome back to the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. And we're here at the Ashenine Stadium on the grounds of Jamaica College. After 45 minutes, last year's beaten finalists Dunbeholden 0, 7-time champions Portmore United 0. These are the first half highlights. Portmore in their white and red kit coming forward. Emilia Rousseau with a strike, and Damien Hyatt got down well to block that effort and send it out for a corner. Emilia Rousseau again from the free kick, tracking it wide of the bar. Portmore, one of the few occasions they got to come forward. Benjamin Williams covering it well. And then from the wide area, this is the best chance of the first half for Portmore United. Alex Marshall on the end of it and heading just wide of the target. Just one goal on the season for Alex Marshall. Then Portmore getting into the area. Rohan Brown with the header, but it was tame and easy for Benjamin Williams. After that floated delivery, it's been a tame first half. Andre Farquharson seeing enough of it and calling time after 45 minutes. This is how it looked statistically. 1 attempt on target for each, from 5 and 6 respectively. Some 20 fouls between the two. It's been a busy evening for the referee. 2 yellow cards shown as well, both to Portmore. Seagull Knight as well. 5 corners for Portmore, just 1 for Dunbeholden. 1 save each for the keepers, and majority of the possession for Dunbeholden, 57%. But as we saw on the 21st of December last year, it's Dunbeholden 0, Portmore 0 after 45 minutes. We head to a break, but we leave you with the highlights of our first match between Harbourview and Tivoli Gardens.
Daniel Parchment with a whistle. Tivoli Gardens on the attack early. Keno Simpson on the left flank, driving inside. Squeezes the ball in here. And Mackenzie's taken down. And referee Parchment points to the penalty spot. Yeah, there it is. Mackenzie tumbles over from the challenge from Bennett. Barrington Price, the central defender, 11 years of Premier League experience, makes no mistake from the penalty spot. 1-0 for Tivoli Gardens after 8 minutes. Former captain of the team he is. Opportunity there for Tivoli Gardens, but Anthony Thompson from the 6-yard box crashes onto the crossbar. Oh, that should have been another Tivoli goal, but it wasn't. Yeah, Keno Simpson gives the ball away here in the middle of the park. Timar Rose down to the flank, sees that Colorado needs some assistance here, goes to give him the assistance, whips the ball in one time, and Timar Lewis, 6th goal of the season, firm header. Good work there from Timar Rose. It was his pass that sent Colorado Murray through, and then assisted Murray, and then the cross, and Lewis with a strike. 1-1. Nicholas Clark had no chance there. Tivoli had the desire and the strength to keep going. But the header on goal there from Lewis. Easy for Bennett in the Harbourview goal. Good work here from Lewis down the right flank. His cross inside, and close shave there for Harbourview, but their defender Staple doing some good work. Header on goal by Colorado Murray, but just wide, as Harbourview look for the go-ahead goal there. Price, 2nd goal of the afternoon, just sliding the ball in one time and putting Tivoli ahead here. Harding with that was Staple with a strike from on the right side. Nicholas Clark had some injury issues, but he brought off some valuable saves. Krista J. Daly, 2nd half substitute, creating problems here for the Tivoli defense. Here he is again. Stewart going in for the header. Clark would get himself hurt there on that play. And here's Garth Stewart, late substitute, tripped by Nicholas Clark, the Tivoli goalkeeper. Parchment gives a penalty. Krista J. Daly accepts with glee. 11 minutes into stoppage time. And 2-2 the final score. Harborview and Tivoli Gardens. They were 1-1. Sashanheim Stadium for match week 19 of the Jamaica Premier League, which continues on Monday afternoon live on SportsMax 2. Alliance United against Chapelton Maroons. That's a 6 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, 5 o'clock in Jamaica match. And in the 7:30 fixture local time, 8:30 in the Eastern Caribbean, Falkland taking on Cavalier, who were champions 2 years ago. 0-0 the scoreline between Dunbeholden and Portmore United. And Dunbeholden at the moment 7th, just 1 spot off a qualification position. And Portmore in 8th spot, 2 places off a qualification position. So this match at St. Catherine Derby, very, very important to these 2 teams. Referee Farquharson getting ready to get the second half going. And it's off now. Portmore making triple changes at half-time. Lamar Walker is now on for Akeem Mullings, a national player this, who spent some time in the United Soccer League. There's Tevin Scott on for the St. Lucian Lester Joseph. And Scott is in an offside position, his first moment of the second half. And there's the third change. Taim Shaw off, Siobhan Walsh now on. Ricardo Thomas, long down the left channel. Powell under pressure. Throw to Portmore, taken quickly. Scott gets close. McCarthy's there with him as well. Scott slides it in. 1-0 to Portmore. 2 minutes after coming on at the halftime break, Scott gets his second of the season, and Portmore celebrating.
I'd have to say weak defending by Fabian McCarthy. There needed to have been strong on the ball. And Tevin Scott, no small frame, making the most of it.
Yeah,
and talk about super change. Look at it here. McCarthy trying to body him out of the way, but he's a smaller frame, McCarthy. And it was a weak attempt. Hyatt exposed, and Scott finally on the scoring sheet.
Yeah.
Second of the season for Scott.
Several months without a goal, Scott. His first and only goal prior to this coming in November of last year against Arnett Gardens, and 1-1 draw. And he finds goal number 2 now at an opportune time because Portmore badly needs it. Yeah, so the coaching staff for Portmore, including central defender who is suspended for the match, Rudolph Austin there, did a lot of work with them physically at halftime as well. He was seen there drilling them physically to get themselves warm and in tune to the second half. Sometimes you sit down for 15 minutes, your body, your muscles get a bit lazy.
Yeah.
And Rudolph Austin was ensuring that that didn't happen to his Portmore team. And that move appears to have reaped some benefits here for them.
Yeah, we spoke of his experience and how he's helped them. And that's part of it, on and off the field.
Foul on Walker, free kick to Portmore. Yeah, this man is expected to cause Dunbeholden some additional problems here in the second half. He was not on the starting roster apparently because he didn't attend training this week after having some international duties, but was expected to report to training later on in the week, but didn't. And the coaching staff decided not to start with him. Dunbeholden trying to respond. Burkett a little hasty there. He was definitely trying to get the quick pass into Barnett, who was looking for the cross.
Yeah, no need to play that right away. He just need to hold the ball and wait.
Yeah, I think he was trying to surprise the defenders with the play. I think that was his mindset, but he didn't execute it well at all. Scott bumped into by McCarthy from behind. And here comes Walker now. Easily dismisses Brown. And the second challenge. Cole Walker having an outstanding World Cup qualifying game against Mexico. Was it last year? Very, very outstanding game. One of the best performances on the Reggae Boys in their failed World Cup campaign.
Yeah. It was when you were still at Miami.
Yeah. A player with real quality. There are a lot of football fans in Jamaica who were arguing for him to get a lot more playing time than he actually got in national colours. Let's see what he offers for Portmore here in the second half. Is he the super sub? Header on goal, but no power there from Marshall. And, or was it Scott again with a headed effort? And Hyatt has the easy take-in goal.
Hyatt, yeah, looked like it came off his ear in the end, so hence why it lacked power.
And that would hurt as well.
Yeah. Rousseau with another good delivery.
Paul with a quick throw. Brown. Searching cross in, but no trouble for Williams in the Portmore goal. Dunbeholden in their 5th Premier League season. A good short history for them. Understandably, their first season, 2018-2019, not that good, getting the feel of the Premier League. They were 10th in their debut season. They were in a playoff 6th spot when the 2020 season was COVID abandoned. Williams is hurt. Then they were 7th in the 2021 regular season, missing the playoff by 1 spot. And we remember 2022. 2nd in the regular season and only lost the final on penalties to Harbourview. So, pretty decent log here for Dunbeholden after just 4 years and counting in the Premier League. And the injury-plagued Williams now has an issue here with his left knee.
Davey Payton, the young Heidel, 17-year-old, had taken over things between the sticks for Portmore United in his injury period. And yeah, well,
yeah, there is
the clearance.
It's a common sight to see goalkeepers going down. We saw it in the previous game with Nicholas Clark, and we often see Hyatt going down as well, the Dunbeholden goalkeeper. And
quite a few
J.D. White, when
I was about to say White had been out injured for a while with a foot injury. He's having a conversation on his phone.
SportsMax app. He wants to see what we're saying about the teams.
Yeah.
Drop ball from referee Farquharson. Benjamin Williams is up and ready to retake his position in goal for Portmore. Walsh. McCarthy does well with a headed back pass to the goalkeeper, Hyatt, who has this stern look on his face. Hyatt. Ball just flying into the commentary tent here. But there are a couple of good footballers in the commentary booth who could handle the ball if it comes this way. Taylor smiles.
Yeah, I hope you weren't talking about me. It might break something.
Stephen Williams is coming on for Burkitt. Yeah, very experienced player, Stephen Williams. Has a pretty lengthy career in Premier League football. Debuted all the way back in 2011 for Waterhouse. McGregor is also on for Bars. Steve Williams was actually a Premier League winner with Portmore in 2012.
Yeah. I think they're looking for a little bit more physicality in there. I think even though Burkett has a talented left foot, he was a bit lost in the game. Caught wide, not in the play at all, really. And I doubt they can just be sitting and waiting on a delivery into the box with the left foot. So Williams and player will get more involved and a much more physical presence to put the defense under pressure.
Seagull Knight under some pressure, but does really well here. Rousseau, Marshall, Knight, Powell, Marshall, Walsh, Young under some pressure.
Well, let's see what McGregor brings. He has, what, 35 minutes?
Yeah. And his coach expressed confidence that he'll soon get his act together. Foul on Rousseau. Oh, the Portmore team lucky that whistle came, because something was about to develop here for Dunbeholden.
Yeah. Shaquem Powell, though, didn't know that initially. His control really let him down. Watch this ball coming here. The first touch needed to be good there, Lance.
Yeah.
Had the first touch been good, then you would have had a shot right away.
Yeah.
Because it was so poor, he needed 3 touches, and I don't think he would have gotten a chance after all that, even though Barnett had committed the foul. It actually was Rowan Brown and not Powell.
Walker does well to keep this one in. James.
Good work, James.
Yeah, James defending stoutly. Does good work here on Walker. James, a first-half substitute for Devontae Hodges, who came off hurt with an apparent hamstring injury. There he is.
Foul on Scott there, late call by Andre Farquharson. James isn't happy, but this is an opportunity now for Lamar Walker or Rousseau to get something good into the area.
Well, if they're going directly for goal, it would be Walker. If they're going for the cross for a header in, it would be...
I'm thinking Rousseau to the back post looking for Scott.
Yeah.
Or Young. Young always gets on the end of them.
Here's a kick coming now. Oh, it's from Walker. Oh, the header on! Just missed.
And guess who?
Young. Wow. You said it, Chris. He always gets there, gets the headers in, but not on target.
Can't hit the target. He's got to hit the target there, Lance.
Yeah.
That's a super ball by Lamar Walker. I tell you, everyone was expecting Rousseau to swing it. And Young did very well, meets the ball well, anticipates well, but just can't get his head on target. He smiles about it. He can't understand it.
No, you can't explain what went wrong.
He's closer to the near post and ends up heading it wide of the far post. I mean... yeah, he needs to improve that aspect of it, but he's very good at the timing of it all.
I think it's your fault, Chris, because you kept saying that from the first half. So I think...
So you need to just prove me wrong then.
Wow. Yeah, that should have been Portmore too.
But his anticipation skills, though, generally. Yeah, he always gets into the business areas.
Yeah, which coaches like. Now what's the hold up? There's something Parkinson isn't happy about.
Farquharson has taken himself to the sideline.
Yeah. Wow. We're told that the game is being halted here because the police is removing a fan from the stands because of indecent language.
Interesting.
Wow. Can't say I've heard that happening too often. Yeah, we're trying to gather if the indecent language is toward the officials, towards them.
It must have been towards the officials because Farquharson has taken himself away. So obviously, I would think it's gone beyond indecent. It must have been something violent that was said.
Yeah.
That makes him feel threatened. And he's pulled himself away.
Yeah, this is unfortunate though. I know fans, you know, feel as if they are free to express themselves, but there are times officials may feel as if it's too much.
Yeah. The second assistant is being called over as well by some of the team.
Yeah.
But he's the second assistant is remained in his position, but the other three are near side, if you want to call it that. Well, they are getting on.
Yeah, I wonder how
they haven't been removed yet.
Yeah, I wonder how easy that task will be, and how agreeable these irate fans would be to being removed by policemen. Oh boy.
Well, yeah, some fans are arguing that a fan is being removed as usual, but maybe this will set an example. Unfortunate to see.
Yeah, we're told it's a Dunbeholden fan who created an issue at Draxhall as well when Dunbeholden played there.
Wow.
That's our information.
So it's a repeat offender.
Wow. Well, it looks as if the referee is having some other narratives being hurled at him. So the ref is ready to restart the game. So Parkinson puts his foot down, or let's say his whistle down. Dunbeholden. Brown.
Well, wow, what a chance that was.
Over the top.
Yeah, McGregor.
Oh,
well. And inform McGregor would have put that in. It did bounce awkwardly, but he didn't get his body over. It didn't cover it. Look at this. Into the area. Well, yeah, it was a difficult.
Yeah, he missed it.
But yeah, there was no conviction in how he approached it. And as I said, a lack of confidence will cause that.
Yeah.
You know. A wake-up call for Portmore.
Yeah.
That situation with the official is very unfortunate though, Lance. You know, as an official myself, I just think that at the end of it, we need to all understand as a people that respect is still necessary. And the officials don't come here and disrespect anybody in the stands or the players generally. So I just think it should be mutually beneficial where respect is shown all around. And as I said, everyone is human. So once it gets violent and so on, it's uncalled for, especially in our society now. It's just not needed.
Yeah. So Scott, the goal scorer, the man who is the difference at the moment between these two teams. Portmore now on the live score, level on points with Dunbeholden in 7th spot as they seek a playoff position late in the season. Myers with the partial clearance. Walker is knocked over by James.
Again.
Yeah. Not as potent, but Dunbeholden and consistent this year as they were last year. Of course, having lost some key players to transfers, among them Demario Phillips, Atafaroy Bygrave, Kimoni Bailey,
Shaquille Dyer.
Yeah, so it's
their captain.
Yeah, it's been difficult for them to repeat their heroics of 2022. Whistle.
Nicoy Christian not in the squad. That's a lot of way too many changes.
Yeah. Yeah, Walsh being penalised there for the challenge, and a free kick to Dunbeholden as we approach 25 minutes in. But like the earlier game between Tivoli and Harbourview, we could see 10 minutes of time added on. Yeah, arm in the face of Samuels, Dane Samuels. Good quick pass upfield here by Ricardo Thomas, but Williams can't control it.
As you mentioned, Williams, Waterhouse, another team that went through so many changes, and both of them you can see how they've been affected. They have been both, and it has resulted with both of them being outside of the playoff areas where they are 1 and 2 last season.
Yeah. Williams with his knee problem again surfacing, so the game being held up again. So Portmore in front by 1-0 on a Tevin Scott strike. There he is. First goal in 4 months. And it took some determination, almost manhandling Fabian McCarthy in his desire to get to the ball. And out-muscled McCarthy and squeezed the ball past Hyatt in goal. Get come on as a half-time substitute, Tevin Scott, and delivered for coach Philip Williams. Yeah, that goal in the 47th minute, so it just took a couple of minutes for Scott to make his coach look good. Okay, so Williams is up again and apparently ready. So there's Williams and referee Farquharson with a drop ball. Dunbeholden having a recovery job to do now, having gone behind on Scott's goal. Waterhouse scoring a 2-0 victory over Mount Pleasant.
Wow, that's a big victory. Only the second loss for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Walsh. Still Walsh. Busting his way, Walsh! What a powerful strike, but a good save from Hyatt. Got a lot of power on the strike, but denied by Damien Hyatt. Marshall, strike on goal, Marshall! Just over the top.
Yeah, Portmore coming alive here. Marshall has been quiet all second half. Now allowed to cut in on that left foot. Lots of power, but he was always going over, and Hyatt was in the right position. Yeah, nice strike just before that by Walsh as well. So with that loss to Mount Pleasant, Lance, Arnett Gardens, well, what has happened here?
Walsh slides the ball in for goal number 2 for Portmore. Second time in a week from Hyatt. Bobbling a take on a dive. And Portmore have taken full control on 68 minutes. Siobhan Walsh, first goal of the campaign.
Well, if there was ever a blooper, that's it. The 2-time Premier League champion, Damien Hyatt. Well, I'm not sure what he was doing here. Fabian McCarthy with a backhand, and Hyatt has made a meal of that. Really poor goalkeeping by Damien Hyatt, a man of his experience. Just not sure what he was doing. Lumbering attempt there. And Walsh, after a strike a minute before, which really tested Hyatt, and he saved well, a complimentary goal.
Yeah, he did that against Cavalier last week. Same situation, diving at the ball, and as he hit the turf, the ball spilled from him, and it resulted in a goal. So second time in a week, in consecutive weekends, that gives up a goal in identical fashion. Marshall tripped. Free kick to Portmore.
First of the season for Walsh. Well, the substitutes are certainly delivering. Walsh and Scott.
And make this the first time since in a while. Let's see Marshall. That's just a replay of the injury. The foul there. Wow, Shakeen Paul gets a yellow card on that.
Yeah, and Dunbeholden just losing their composure a bit. We have seen this before with them. We saw it last season as well, although we regained it. Lots on the mind of Jeremy and Thomas.
And this is only the second time since the start of the year that Portmore has scored more than one goal in a match. They did score 3 against Falkland at the back end of December.
And 2 against the Maroons.
That would have been before, yeah.
No, just a couple of weeks ago. They scored 2 against
Veer.
Oh, it was Veer.
They beat Veer 2-0, yeah. So that was the first 2-goal game for Portmore since December the 28th. And they're back now 2 weeks later with another 2-goal effort. Well, 2 goals up to this point. Don't think Howard recognized that he was offside there. I think someone from the bench had been screaming to him he was in an offside position, but he didn't respond, and the offside called against him. Marshall, Scott. Oh boy, Russo has too much pace. Bad pass really, because the ball played behind him, but he had already gone forward when the ball was played behind him. Strong midfield tosser here. Scott tries to control, but the first touch doesn't keep the ball close enough to him for him to keep it. Scott, Howard, Walsh. Whistle. I think a free kick is going to be awarded here to Dunbeholden in a threatening position because Peter McGregor apparently struck in the face. Yeah, wow, that was a reckless challenge from Young. Oh, that.
Lucky to get away with that.
Of course. Can Dunbeholden strike here and set themselves on the recovery path? Williams looks as if he wants the strike. A 4-man wall here being set up by Portmore. Barnett goes in there to mix things up a bit as well. Ricardo Thomas, McCarthy, and Williams are the 3 men behind the ball. McCarthy, just wide. Just wide, and Williams hobbles across goal. In goal for Portmore, and he definitely has some injury issues. Yeah, McCarthy going for goal there. Myers with a long kick out here for Portmore. Walsh misses the header. Ball rebounds favorably for him here. Walker, still Walker. Good skill by Walker, but he can't release the ball just yet. Now he does. To Marshall. Under pressure, Marshall.
Yeah, the control is poor by Marshall.
Yeah,
and then he fouls.
Yeah, he fouls Stephen Williams. So Portmore and Scott the scorers. Yeah, Scott, I think, complaining that he was bounced to the face there. But it's a throw to Portmore. Scott showing good skill on the left flank. Less than 15 minutes of normal time remaining, but there will be time added on for sure. There was the stoppage because of the removal of the spectator, and the injury stoppage as well to Williams in the Portmore goal.
Yeah.
So we do expect considerable time to be added on for stoppages. Throw to Dunbeholden. Well, the spectator is still there, who was, we were led to believe, let out of the stadium. So maybe he just got away with a warning. I wonder if the referee knows he's still here.
Security forces are still there overseeing the matter. He still has a lot to say.
Yeah, he looks angry. Well, you know how fans are when they're on the losing end. Well, Dean Andre Thomas is now on for Rowan Brown.
Your yesteryear hero.
Yeah, when Dunbeholden first started Premier League football 2018-2019, he was their go-to man.
For goals, yeah. Dwayne Smith coming on as well. Malachi Douglas off. You have had to call his name, Malachi Douglas.
Right.
Not a schoolboy star.
So fresh legs on for Dunbeholden, looking for a recovery. Williams. McGregor. Under pressure, McGregor. Rousseau under pressure himself as well.
Other results coming in, by the way. Humble Lion won, Arnett Gardens won after 90 minutes. Omario Walters for Humble Lion, Damari Deacon for Arnett Gardens at full time.
Oh, the hustler gets one for Arnett. A crowd favourite.
Waterhouse, as we mentioned before, defeated Mount Pleasant. Their second defeat of the season, Mount Pleasant, by 2-0. Shaquille Bradford again on the score sheet, and then a Damian Binns penalty. Bradford certainly in some good form. A double last week and another this week.
And we're told they were down to 10 men, Waterhouse.
Yeah.
I'm not sure at what stage of the game, but they finished with 10 men, but still beat Mount Pleasant. Dean Andre's header.
Full time between Mobay United and Vere United, 3-all.
Wow. And we're hearing that Waterhouse actually went down to 10 men in the 48th minute.
Against Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, which means that they played an entire half.
And still kept a clean sheet.
Yeah. Good result there for good result there for Waterhouse.
Big result. What it means is that we'll have a new leader at the end of match week 19 for sure. Mount Pleasant in second and could go possibly third if Cavalier were to win against Falkland tomorrow. And Arnett, with only a draw, means maybe Cavalier could end up on top.
As it stands now, Mount Pleasant are third, we're told, on goal difference. Yeah, it's on a scoring tiebreak. The goal difference is similar, but Cavaliers scoring more goals. Mount Pleasant trying to win their first Premier League title after being consistent for all 4 seasons that they've played in the Premier League before. But consistency without titles won't cut it, I'm sure, for owner Peter Gold.
Yeah. So the draw for Arnett takes them to 38 points, 2 ahead of Mount Pleasant and Cavalier. So if Cavalier win tomorrow, they will have sole leadership of the Premier League because it would carry them to 39. So, yeah, I guess Arnett would look at it as a chance miss, but obviously a tough match against Humble Lion, who a very difficult team to break down and had the joint best defensive record going into that fixture in 5th position. So
Marshall just tumbling over there as he tried to use some of his skills to evade the tackle. Powell with a header in, with a cross in, but yeah, there was a high boot there.
Dangerous.
Scott turns his man really well, does Scott. Has some options here.
McFarlane.
Jafiq McFarlane, his cross inside doesn't find the target.
Another St. Lucian. Jafiq McFarlane, but has struggled with ankle injuries. Hence why he's been forced to come off the bench.
Yeah. Has 3 goals this season already, Jafiq McFarlane, so he knows what it's like to score goals for Portmore.
All after returning from injury.
Yeah. Walsh, McFarlane, Scott, still Scott. Here comes Marshall under some pressure.
I was thinking about the shot.
Walker probably strike from here. Walker! Oh, what a strike! Just missing. Wow, that was a fantastic right-footed strike from Lamar Walker. Oh, he doesn't know how he missed it.
Yeah, into the side netting. I had to say he had it covered, but I think he was in trouble if that was on the inside of the post. He was beaten.
Oh, that was
the pace of that shot certainly had him in big trouble, Hyatt. I think he was beaten.
Yeah, tremendous strike from Walker.
Initially it looked like it was going to be on target and then just pending wide at the last moment.
Yeah.
But Portmore certainly looked dangerous and Dunbeholden looked beaten.
Yeah, well, with the January transfer acquisition of Lamar Walker here and Alex Marshall, offensively, Portmore has already... Oh, what a strike! What a goal! What a tremendous strike! Dunbeholden are back in business. Dean Andre Thomas. Wow, Williams is stunned. Where did that come from? He knows how to score goals. He hasn't been a prolific scorer in recent seasons, but that strike tells you that he has the instinct of a man who is a natural forward.
Well, he was their go-to man, and obviously he still is. Dean Andre Thomas, 2nd of the season, 26th of his Premier League career. And that was a top strike. We were just talking about strikes from outside the area, and then look at that. On the volley. Bending away from Benjamin Williams.
That was a tremendous strike. His back was turned to the goal. One swivel and a terrific right-footed shot unleashed. Williams didn't know what hit him.
Yeah, just as we said that Dunbeholden looked beaten, they come up with that. And it disturbed your point about the acquisitions of Alex Marshall and Lamar Walker.
Yeah, but I've always had a lot of time for Dean Andre Thomas, and the fact is, when Dunbeholden had just come up to the top flight and needed players to keep them competitive and show that they belong to this level, Dean Andre Thomas was the man who kept scoring for them. I think he scored like 38% of their goals.
Yeah. Well, The substitutes have certainly delivered for both teams. All 3 goals scored by substitutes.
Yeah.
And is
Siobhan
there more
Walsh,
to come?
who got Portmore's second goal, hasn't played a lot of Premier League football. He actually spent a lot of time in Vietnam in the past couple of years, and also had a season in Indonesia before being signed up with Portmore, and did play for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the USL back in 2016-2017, Siobhan Walsh.
Quite a few of our players, of the Jamaican players, making their way to Vietnam. To Vietnam. Vietnamese seem to enjoy the Jamaican talent.
Yeah. And
Tafari Bygrave, Daniel Green, Janoy Cunningham from...
Cunningham is there now as well.
He went for a
there's
trial, but he's back from Alliance.
There's a Romario Gordon who is in Vietnam as well, scoring a lot of goals. Wow, good skill here from Dean Andre. Still with the ball.
Errol Stevens before was there as well, before going on to Russia. So
Ricardo Thomas. Look at the urgency now in this Dunbeholden team. They sense their opportunity now to get back into this game. And they've won themselves a corner. And there's a lot of time left in this match. Don't watch the clock at 8:55:52, because there's going to be a lot of time added on for stoppages. I can tell you that. Probably 7 to 8 minutes, even more.
We saw 10 in the first game.
Yeah. So Dunbeholden will have time.
And a goal came in what, the 10th minute of time added on?
That's right.
Yeah.
Penalty.
Nice.
Good work here by Williams. He has a dodging knee. So, you know, every moment that he's brought into play here will be closely watched. Oh, still kicks the ball out with his left boot.
I was about to say the last time he kicked it, it didn't go well.
Yes, I would be. Here's Walker again.
Lovely take. Sometimes holds it a bit too much though, Walker.
Yeah. That's his confidence.
Here he goes again.
Yeah. McFarlane. Still Walker. Williams takes the ball from him. Austin gets in the way. So I did say in the first half with a 0-0 scoreline that Dunbeholden are a drama club. They don't to enjoy 0-0 scorelines.
I did say expect the blockbuster. We haven't quite seen 6 yet, but we've seen 3.
I thought that was a foul, yeah.
And from what we've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if we were to get another 2.
Yeah, could very well happen. As we said, we are anticipating significant time added on for stoppages. In a couple of minutes, we'll know. Along with our SportsMax app moment. From the sidelines, we're here that as many as 7 minutes may be added on for stoppages. Man of the match thoughts?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that as well.
Samuels. Oh, good work here.
Oh, is that a challenge on Barnett? Oh, that delivery needed to be better.
Yeah. Appeal for a penalty there, and both players are injured. Barnett taken out by Williams.
Yeah.
Williams is hurt. Barnett appears to be hurt as well. Here's the play.
Barnett lucky there. That always dangerous.
I think the keeper got his hands on the ball though.
Yeah. I think fair challenge.
Yeah, it appeared
all
fair.
round.
Yeah, it appeared fair. I just get nervous for goalkeepers when I see these things happen, because half of the time the goalkeepers suffer. Here's the SportsMax app moment. Here's Walsh. Fighting hard to get this, and Hyatt makes this huge error, coughs up the ball, and coughs up a goal as well. Wall strikes his first Premier League goal of the season. Looks untidy, but it has Portmore leading at the moment by 2-1. That made it 2-0 at the time. SportsMax at moment for Dunbeholden against Portmore. Yeah, disappointment here for Hyatt. And as I said, back-to-back weeks he has conceded identical goals. That happened on 80 minutes. 8 minutes added on for stoppages. And Portmore in front by 2-1. But Dunbeholden are on the rebound. Can they take the fight back all the way? Samuels with a strong header forward. Williams. Not a bad effort from Williams. Tried to get the reverse pass on there. Didn't quite find Ricardo Thomas with it, but you saw the intention.
Yeah.
James with a long clearance upfield for Dunbeholden. Dunbeholden with a lot of urgency here. Here's McGregor.
But Portmore, what they've done well is close the lines.
The cross inside.
Well done, Williams.
Yeah, Williams
Brave
takes
again.
well, but he's hurt himself in the process also. So we're into stoppage time, but you know that they're going to play more than 8 minutes added on.
Yeah. Another ball into the area. I mean, take away the strike from Dean Andre Thomas, which was a phenomenal one. Portmore have actually defended pretty well. They're solid. Emilio Rousseau, I think, has been, I mean, not a lot of quality in the game, but I think Emilio Rousseau, certainly his defensive stuff, and then going forward, he's added a lot. Nice deliveries from the wide areas, asked questions. They haven't delivered for him. I mean, Young has had a pretty solid game. Even Benjamin Williams between the sticks apart. I mean, obviously he was beaten, but you know, he's been committed. Yeah. I can't say it's been a busy game for him, but he hasn't. In fact, he hasn't really been called on to make a big save, really.
Not really, no.
But yeah, Rousseau maybe for me, probably.
I just
edging
think,
it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen enough of Rousseau today from an impact perspective to hand him that honor.
Who have you seen to really?
Well, it's this quote. He's always solid, Rousseau, usually, and he was solid again today.
Yeah. I mean, of course, he's had better games, but I mean, the little bit of quality we've seen has mainly come from him, especially from the dead ball. Yeah. Substitutes have come on. I mean, yeah, Scott scored a good goal eventually, but I mean, yeah, there's Tevin Scott, just his second of the season.
He's really looked good since he's come on.
Yeah.
And from our production team, his name is being mentioned.
Yeah. You have to go for names in a game like this because, as I said, it's not been a lot of outstanding play. And I can't say over the course of 90 minutes anybody has had really an outstanding game.
Yeah, that's a foul. Scott charges into the back of Barnett, and Dunbeholden taking the kick as quickly as they possibly can because time is not on their side. Marshall under pressure, doesn't keep it, throw to Dunbeholden.
Needed to have a better touch, Marshall, again. It's not the first time we've said that this afternoon about him. His first touch that's letting him down. He's put in a heavy shift, but we need better quality from Alex Marshall. He needs to be asking the keepers a lot more questions.
Yeah. Dunbeholden winning a lot of balls here in the Portmore half of the field. And that speaks to their desire and intensity as they try to snatch a point from this. A bit cheeky there from Walker, but he got away with it. Well, this is one of the hardest man of the match decisions I've seen, because there's no player that we can single out as being, you know, significantly outstanding in this fixture.
No. Walker with a card. No, that's why I said, for me, if we are going to take out moments that we've seen that have been good,
yeah,
it would probably revolve around Rousseau. In fact, if you look at the first half highlights, Rousseau was involved in all of them. So, even though it hasn't been the best we have seen from him and his free kicks, but I do take the point as well that Tevin Scott has been a good substitute.
Yeah,
he has been, and his goal initially set the difference.
On the path to a victory.
And he's added some presence up front as well. So I could understand him making a big argument.
Rousseau had MVP awards against Malines and Veer in the past few weeks. Marshall, still Marshall. What a strike from Marshall! 3-1, Portmore sealing it. That was a delightful strike from Marshall. Second goal since his return to the Premier League.
And surprisingly with the right foot.
Yeah.
Well, we said that we needed to see Alex Marshall challenge the goalkeepers more. Well, he challenged him and he won the battle. Damien Hyatt with a hand to it, can't keep it out. That is what needs to be happening from Alex Marshall's perspective more in games. Getting into the business area and shooting like that doubles his tally, and the points are sealed for Portmore.
Who assisted on that goal? He almost made it himself because he took the ball to the defenders.
The pass inside came from, I think it was Rousseau from the left-hand side.
You're making Rousseau's case. Oh, Williams is down hurt again. Yeah, we're confirmation that it was Emilio Rousseau with the assist. So the Portmore captain set to nail his third MVP award in Premier League football action on SportsMax in the past 5 weeks. There he is. A real quality player, and actually the only member of this current Portmore team that played on the team that won in 2019. Portmore's last championship title win in 2019. Rousseau is the only member of that roster that is on this current team. Yeah. Only 23 years old, I think.
Last season and the season that we played on the AstroTurf, he was heavily criticized, not making enough for a player that showed so much at the schoolboy level in terms of going forward. We weren't seeing that part of his game. We thought he had lost his way. And this season, he's turned it around. He was heavily criticized, especially last season when he had the captain's armband for some of it as well. And this season, he has transitioned himself. He's got forward a lot more, scored goals, 5 of them. And he's just been more involved. He looks like he understands his football at this level a lot more, and it's showing in his performance.
You know, like Staple from Harbour View, to be a flank defender and being your team's leading scorer says a lot.
Yeah.
a lot of quality from Emilio Rousseau.
Yeah.
Very, very good kicker of the dead ball. It's one of the strongest aspects of his game.
Yeah.
Scott under some pressure. Crowded out here by the Dunbeholden men.
Ooh.
Wow, was that Young?
Yeah.
Throwing his body in to block the clearance and struck in the face.
Not sure you needed to rush in like that though, Young. I mean, that in itself, had he not even gotten hit, that was a dangerous challenge.
Yeah.
It would have been a two-footed challenge. Team leading 3-1, you don't want to get red carded.
Falling with the clearance. Scott a little lackadaisical with the approach to the ball, and here comes Marshall again. Whistle, end of the game. Portmore squeezing out a 3-1 win here, and for the afternoon fixing a lot of their offensive woes. It's been one of the weaker aspects of their game, Portmore, scoring goals. Well, they had 3 for coach Philip Williams today, with Walsh, Scott and Marshall on target for them, and a fine result here for Portmore, who now join Dunbeholden on points, on 25 points in their race for a playoff spot. Dean Andre Thomas came on for Dunbeholden and struck a wonder goal, the best goal of the match. But it wasn't enough for Dunbeholden. And Portmore are celebrating out of this St. Catherine derby. 3-1 the final score for Portmore. Tevin Scott, that man was a man who set Portmore on the victory path 2 minutes into the second half, after he had come on as a second half substitute or a halftime substitute. And despair for Dunbeholden, whose push for a playoff spot is jolted here by this result. 3-1 to Portmore over Dunbeholden in the St. Catherine derby. Second match of the doubleheader at the Ashenheim Stadium. Emilio Rousseau cracks one from left side to the near post, but Damien Hatt gets in the way and blocks the Portmore number 6, who goes again for a strike here from a spot kick. Dunbeholden had their moments. That one headed over the top. Here comes Akeem Mullings with a cross. Header attempted by Marshall. Slides wide on the left upright. Damien Hatt appeared in goal to have had it covered though. Dunbeholden pressing forward. Brown with a header on goal, but tame. Scott out-muscles Fabian McCarthy here for the ball. Slides the ball between the legs of Damien Hatt. And that gave Portmore the 1-0 lead that they worked hard for. Scott's second goal of the season. First goal in 4 months in the Premier League. Going for more glory here, Scott, but the header tame. Header on goal by Young, but amazingly he misses the target from the 6-yard box. Walsh with a terrific strike. Damien Hatt with a fine save for the left-sided dive. Marshall cracks one from 22 yards out, but it goes high. Dunbeholden looking for the rebound. Walsh forcing his way forward now. And Damien Hatt bobbles the ball, loses control of the ball. Walsh alert, snatches the opportunity and makes Damien Hatt pay for a real sloppy job in goal for Dunbeholden. 2-0 the scoreline here for Portmore at this point. Walsh scores his first goal in the Premier League this season. Walker fires one on goal. What a strike from Walker. Inches wide. He's disappointed. Yeah, Hatt caught the attention there. Look at this strike from Dean Andre Thomas. A quick turn. A rifled right-footed shot. Gives Williams no chance. And Dunbeholden here are back in business with this 83rd minute strike. At this point, it's 2-1 in Portmore's favor. But Marshall would settle things here. Dribbles away from challengers and then thumps this right-footed shot past the outstretched glove of Damien Hatt. Gets the glove to it, but not a strong enough glove, and it's 3-1 to Portmore. And they win it. The St. Catherine derby. 8 shots attempted on goal by Dunbeholden, 3 on target, 15 attempted by Portmore, 6 on target. 33 fouls in the match, 20 of them committed by Portmore players. 4 yellow cards in the match, 3 of them for Portmore players. 6 corners Portmore forced to Dunbeholden's 2. Portmore's Williams called on to make 2 saves. Dunbeholden's goalkeeper making 3 saves, Damien had. And it's Dunbeholden who had more ball possession at 57%. But the score at the top is the one that counts. Portmore 3-1 over Dunbeholden in the St. Catherine Derby.
Emilio, another big result for Portmore, another win, and another solid performance by yourself. You really seem to be enjoying your football out there.
Yes, we came here for the 3 points and we get it. We put out a wonderful team performance and we go to goal as much today and we get 3 goals from it.
Another assist for you, and obviously you've been given the responsibility of all the dead ball kicks, all the corners as well. How important is it for you match after match to put these telling balls into the box for your attackers and for your forwards?
Yes, I have to deliver some balls so we can score a goal. From the season start, we've been struggling in goal scoring, so as much as I can put the ball in the box, I will do it, and hopefully we get more goals going forward.
And how impressed are you by your team's overall performance, especially with so many changes coming into your starting lineup for today?
Yes, today I think we have a wonderful team performance. We share the ball a lot and it pay off.
All right, Emilio, congrats on another solid performance and an assist as well. Go well and get some rest.
Yeah, thank you.
Emilio Rousseau, his 3rd man of the match performance for the Portmore team. And yeah, Craig Richards now comes into frame, the assistant coach at Dunbeholden. Craig, disappointing result in the end for Dunbeholden. You fought well, especially in the first half, but then things fell away in the second half.
Yeah, it's a very disappointing result for us today. We came here with victory in mind and we started the game well. It's just some poor decision, some errors that cost us the game. Throughout the season we are making these errors and they must stop now.
Is it a mental thing? I must ask you about Damien Hyde, because you had that similar kind of situation against Cavalier as well. And for him to have that same kind of mistake again, with a man of so much experience, it must be really bothering the coaching staff and him as well.
Definitely, it's really poor at this level, and I mean Damien Hyde has enough experience to have made better decisions like that. But such is the nature of the game. We're very disappointed. It's just that we have to just go back to the drawing board and see where we can improve from here.
All right, we know that Stephen Barnett has been firing on all cylinders, 7 goals, didn't get any today. But what about the rest of attackers? You spoke about Peter McGregor coming back into form. We heard head coach talking about that in an interview, but not really getting on the firing end of things, and it looks blank up front for Dunbeholden, apart from Barnett.
Yes, we're not getting enough persons scoring, but we still believe in Peter McGregor, and we hope. I mean, if Peter McGregor can click, then it will be only benefiting to Dunbeholden football team. So we'll continue to try and work on him and other players. We just need to be scoring more goals and stopping the opposing team from scoring against us by making better decisions.
We look forward to seeing the exciting Dunbeholden return, the goal-scoring Dunbeholden. All the best in the weeks to come.
All right, thank you very much.
Craig Richards, their assistant coach at Dunbeholden. Philip Williams is a much happier face coming into frame. Philip, yeah, you took the break last week. You said you wanted to work on some things. Well, everything seems to be working. It's not often Portmore scores 3 goals.
Yeah, definitely. So at the time the break is bad, but I think we made good use of the break, and the areas that we worked on, I think those areas bear fruit for us today.
And even though they had a couple of players that were not in the starting lineup, which might have been expected to have been there, the other players stood up and came to the fray. And then when you made the changes, they certainly added that extra impetus going forward in the second half.
Definitely, the changes with the change we also changed the system, and I think that caught the Dunbeholden team off guard, and the 2 forward that we put on scored for us, which we are happy for.
I see your coaching staff was a little bit surprised that Emilio Rousseau got the man of the match. They thought it should have been Alex Marshall. How do you feel about his performance?
Yeah, I agree with them. I mean, Alex, he was all over the park today, and his contribution was, priceless today. And that last goal, was a beauty.
And the fact that he got on the score sheet yet again, because his goals is what you really want from Alex, that must be so pleasing to see him double his tally.
Definitely, the goals, definitely we know that he have goals in him, but apart from that, we require of him the position that we are using him to put in a good shift in terms of on the defensive end, and he had a complete game today.
All right, excellent stuff. 7 points from a possible 9. Portmore heading in the right direction.
Definitely so, definitely so.
All the best, Philip.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Okay, Philip Williams there, head coach of the Portmore team. And here are the full results from today's matches up to this point. Harbourview 2-2 with Tivoli Gardens. Cumberland 1-1 with Arnett Gardens. Montego Bay United 3-3 with Veer. Mount Pleasant beaten 2-0 by Waterhouse. Portmore winning 3-1 over Dunbeholden. Mullines battle tomorrow, and that's a double-header there. Arnett Gardens still holding on to the leadership position at 38 points. Cavalier in second on 36 points. Mount Pleasant dropping now to third on 36 points. Harbourview in fourth. Waterhouse fifth. Cumberland in sixth position. Portmore now displacing Dunbeholden as a team in seventh position. Montego Bay United, Tivoli and Mullines follow with Veer United just above the drop zone. Well, 6 points above the drop zone, I should say. Coming up on SportsMax 2 on Monday afternoon, Mullines against Chapelton Maroons at 5 o'clock, 6 Eastern Caribbean time. And then in the 7:30 fixture, 8:30 Eastern Caribbean time, Falkland taking on Cavalier. All that, a doubleheader on SportsMax 2 on Monday evening. So that's the story of what happened today in the Dunbeholden Portmore United match. Portmore United 3-1 over Dunbeholden on SportsMax, the home of champions and the Premier League, Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel, continuing Monday. Join us then.